the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
The rhetoric creates a false impression that the city is far more dangerous.
Now at 6 on DC News Now, criticism over crime in the district, the pushback over new comments from Virginia's Attorney General.
And hundreds of Marylanders abused by Catholic priests, deacons, and other leaders within the Baltimore Archdiocese.
The abusers use their power and authority over the most vulnerable people in their charge.
While the Attorney General and the head of the Survivors Network say the report is especially important for survivors.
And happy Friday, my favorite people, as we go into the holiday weekend. Unfortunately, we have freeze watches that are currently in place. We'll look at that coming up.
And helping you stretch your dollar, what to know before trying to make a deal on a new car as prices rise.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tasmeen Mahfouz. And new tonight, the issue of DC crime. First, it was GOP members in Congress. And now it's the Attorney General of Virginia saying crime is out of control in the nation's capital and spilling into the Commonwealth.
Yeah, it comes a week after a Virginia woman was killed inside her DC hotel room. Our political and government reporter, Leonard N. Fleming, joins us live here in studio tonight. And Leonard, many people you spoke with say the AG overstepped his boundary.
That's exactly right. They are incensed that GOP leaders and now the Republican AG of Virginia claim D.C. has turned into a lawless city. But Miyares says the facts don't lie and that the district has a problem.
Murders up by over 30% in the district. Carjackings are up. Armed robberies are up. Sexual assaults are up 84%. So violent crime is absolutely up.
And this is why Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares is the latest Republican to criticize crime in D.C. behind those in Congress. A letter from him to top D.C. officials mentioned the killing of Virginia resident Christy Batista last week in a hotel who was in the district for a concert.
We have over 3 million Virginians that live in the D.C. metro area. So many of them commute into the district. I can tell you from talking to them, they know that crime is up. They're seeing it. They're seeing it on the streets.
His involvement doesn't sit well with Ellen Loughran of D.C.
Crime is troubling to everyone.
Do Virginians she knows feel unsafe in D.C.?
No, none of my friends do.
Trent Fulton of D.C. echoes that view.
I don't think that there is any reason why the Republicans in Congress or the Attorney General of Virginia should be chiming in when D.C. is supposed to be an independent jurisdiction.
City Council Chairman Phil Mendelson says the Virginia Attorney General isn't helping.
I'm not going to argue with anybody that hey, crime is down and therefore we don't need to pay attention. But the rhetoric creates a false impression that the city is far more dangerous. And that's just not true.
Miyares acknowledges that there is an issue with federal officials that oversee the district not prosecuting cases, a contention D.C. officials say is the real problem.
I completely agree with the D.C. mayor that we need our federal prosecutors to prosecute. And the fact over 60% of arrests aren't being prosecuted is a problem.
Cecil Muhammad of D.C. says this is the GOP's way of micromanaging his city.
It always been an issue with them trying to take control over D.C. affairs.
But Miyares says D.C. does have a crime problem.
The first step is acknowledging there is an issue.
The Attorney General says he's willing to meet with Mayor Muriel Bowser and Chairman Mendelson anytime to discuss crime. And while Mendelson says he's down for a meeting, he's not interested in the blame game, but real solutions like more federal resources. Reporting in the studio, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.
Leonard, thank you. And this week, the Maryland Attorney General released the findings of a 4-year investigation into sexual abuse at the hands of Catholic priests and others within the Archdiocese of Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, investigators found there were hundreds of victims and believe many other victims have yet to come forward. Our Alexander Limon reports.
It was tormenting, painful, in some ways sadistic.
Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown says a 4-year investigation documented the abuse of at least 600 children by priests, deacons, and other leaders within the Baltimore Archdiocese from the 1940s through the early 2000s.
Typically, there are many more who have not come out and spoken up than there are who have.
Through a grand jury subpoena, the Maryland Attorney General's office obtained hundreds of thousands of documents that show the Archdiocese of Baltimore knew about the abuse and systematically covered it up.
I am a victim myself. Nothing that I hear about this church is surprising. It is unfortunate. It's sad.
Sean Doherty, board president of SNAP, the survivors network of those abused by priests, says the report is especially important for survivors
whose relatives didn't believe them. The police didn't believe them. Nobody believes them. This is validation.
But he says the problems haven't gone away.
Young priests are getting arrested for molesting children.
Because of statutes of limitations under old criminal codes, most past crimes won't be prosecuted. But the names of newly identified abusers could be released in the future. And the Maryland legislature also passed a new law this week to allow survivors to sue. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Well, the Maryland Attorney General's office is also investigating the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. and of Wilmington, Delaware. They're asking for survivors to contact the AG's office.
All right, let's get a check on the weekend forecast with our chief meteorologist, Jessa Webb.
And Janessa made it to Friday. All eyes, of course, on the holiday weekend. It's looking pretty good, especially Easter Sunday.
Yeah, but it's going to be chilly, and
yes.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, we've dropped about 20 to 25 degrees. We're out of the 80s, and it's kind of a reality check. Let's talk about what's going on your current radar. We do have an area of low pressure across Richmond that is providing a good amount of rain across central Virginia, and it's actually allowing us to kind of dry out. So the good band of moisture from Richmond into Roanoke, Charlottesville as well. DC metro area, our friends in Lexington Park are really dealing with a clip of moisture, but nothing on the severe side or really going to be dealing with copious amounts of moisture for this evening. It will continue to be on the light to scattered side. Temperatures right now, 55 for the metro area. From north to east, we continue to kind of be more seasonable for this time of year. Out towards Cumberland into the Kaiser area, our friends in Luray in the middle to upper 40s and lower 50s. Tonight, we are not talking about rain chances across the DMV. All we are going to be dealing with here for the next 24 hours is increasing clouds. Temperatures around 11 o'clock into your overnight, they're going to fall into the middle 40s. Here's the larger weather story. We're going to break this down coming up. We have freeze watches going into your Easter Sunday. Guys, we'll look at that coming up.
All right, sounds good. Janessa, thanks. All right, we are helping you stretch your dollar tonight. The price behind your monthly car payments are the highest since the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah, and that's why some consumers may want to consider ways to stretch their dollar. DC News and consumer reporter Ben Dennis joins us after reviewing that data and what to know before negotiating those car payments.
Yeah, and Ben, good evening. As rates continue to climb, you did find some of the best deals.
Well, I don't know if we found the best deals, but we did find some there. Here, guys, good evening. A new report out saying that 17% of consumers who financed a new car in the first quarter of this year agreed to pay at least $1,000 every month, believe it or not, an all-time high. And there's data to back it from Edmunds, an online auto resource. How did this come to be? Well, let's take a look at the Fed's ongoing interest rate hikes. They say it's their way to try and fight inflation. Edmunds data out this week says the average monthly payment for new cars was $730 compared to $656 this time last year. Some background, the average annual percentage rate, APR, on new cars has reached 7%. It was 4.4% this time last year. And with more people opting for used vehicles, Edmunds says the average monthly payment is $550, and that's for a 6-year term. Kelley Blue Book added that the average new vehicle cost was $48,000. A report from at the end of 2022 there. It was $10,000 more than before the pandemic. Significant hike. Here's how one local car dealership sales manager described these price hikes when federal figures first signaled the uptick this year.
Everything that goes up must come down, right? I think there's a surplus of used cars now in the market, which we didn't have before. With places like Carvana and I think a lot of those bigger box stores like that have been, I guess, not taking in as much inventory and have to kind of liquidate has definitely driven up the vehicle sales at the auction. Therefore, there's more competition.
And among those options to lower what you pay when buying, consider extending your payment periods for longer monthly rates. Bankrate adds, if you can, work to build your credit prior and maybe put some more money down. For lower payments after signing on the dotted line, ask your lender if you can defer a payment for 1 or 2 months if you're experiencing any financial problems. Plus, maybe explore possible refinancing. We've got more consumer advice on our website at dcnewsnow.com. And if you believe that someone may be violating the law when it comes to those car sales, consider filing a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Ben Dennis, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, Ben, good information there. Thank you. Meanwhile, an update on breaking news we brought you last night of a hit and run in Langley Park. The man who was hit by a van has died. It happened around 8 o'clock last night on New Hampshire Avenue. A driver is believed to have been driving a white cargo van with possible damage to the right side mirror. Anyone with information is asked to contact Prince George's County Police.
And new tonight, Prince George's County Police say a man has admitted to intentionally setting an apartment on fire. That fire was set last night and is now displaced 10 people, 8 adults and 2 children in Temple Hills. Now, officials claim 52-year-old Anthony Cooper of Temple Hills will be charged with arson in the first degree and 1 count of reckless endangerment. Neighbors tell DC News Now that they are glad that the person was caught quickly and that no one was hurt, but they say they're still in shock.
It went so quick. It was like you get the knock, and then the next thing you know, it's like the whole building's on fire.
From seeing like when the fire department was spraying in my unit and stuff, and I could see the ceilings, came down. So I already know if everything's in there is probably destroyed.
So Brad Porter and Paul Britton are just 2 of the 10 people woken up in the middle of the night by that fire. And now them and their neighbors are waiting to get inside and see if they can salvage anything. The Office of the Fire Marshal estimates that the fire damage is about $1 million. Meanwhile, Porter and Britton say even hours later, he still can't process what happened. But again, they are grateful it wasn't worse.
It's traumatic. Like, I've been here for 10 years, like single father, and now we got to figure out what's next.
As bad as the situation might seem, it could always be worse. So thankfully it wasn't worse. Nobody died. Nobody's in the hospital. They caught the guy that did it. Now we just had to pick up the pieces,
Yeah, so 2 firefighters were sent to the hospital for evaluation. No one who lives in the building was hurt. If convicted, Cooper could face 30 years in jail for arson and an additional 5 for the reckless endangerment charge. It's still unclear why Cooper set the apartment on fire.